Hey gang, Spade of the Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at Transformers Universe, Soundwave, and Spacecase. That's Soundwave, and that is Spacecase. Now these guys were originally from, the molds were originally from a couple of different lines. Specifically, Spacecase is from Machine Wars in Europe and Generation 2 here in the US, and then the Soundwave figure is directly from Machine Wars in Europe. And you could tell by the crazy, stupid gimmick that the missile launcher, or the missile, has, which I will show you here in a second. Now, obviously, these two are definitely Decepticons. They are very purple in color, and they both came in a ultra-size pack, when really Soundwave is more of a mega-class figure, and obviously Spacecase is a deluxe. So what was that gimmick that I mentioned? Well, the gimmick is, in the European Machine Wars line, all of the figures had this weird targeting system. And in this figure, well, I'll have to show you here. If you look straight down the quote-unquote barrel of the missile, there is a slider here that allows light in, and you can kind of see that. And then there's another slider that allows you to flip up a targeting reticle. I have no idea what purpose this serves, because you can't see out of the tip of the missile. It's all blurry and stuff. So, yeah, a lot of the figures had this. In fact, what came over to the US as King Atlas and in the Universe line, which was a repaint of Machine Wars Starscream, had a similar gimmick in his engine thruster. It's just completely useless. So let's go ahead and take a look at Spacecase first. Now, Spacecase is it's a Cyberjet from Gen 2. Comes with two missiles and has some nice landing gears. So we're going to fold up the landing gears and get this guy transformed. First, we're going to unpeg the thrusters from the back, and then fold that whole assembly forward. Take the rear section of the fuselage here, and spin it around like that. And then unfold the arms like that. And then collapse the entire back of the figure in, and there are two small pegs there, and peg holes there. Just getting them lined up is a little tricky. And then just fold the legs thusly. And here we have Spacecase. Now, Spacecase does have a little bit of light piping, which is showing up a little bit there in the camera, which is cool. And overall, the figure looks pretty darn good. It's a Cyberjet, though. He does have the silly Cyberjet firing gimmick of just push the missile to shoot, but I do appreciate the fact that he has two actual arms, and the weapon is just on one of his arms. It, unfortunately, does not swivel. I would have liked it if it would swivel. Oh well. Posability-wise, he's really posable. Ball joint in the knee and in the hip, ball joint in the elbow and in the shoulder, and ball joint for the head. So you could get some decent poses. Unfortunately, poses are a little bit tough, as he is just a slight bit back-heavy with this giant piece of plastic. But overall, the figure looks really good, and I really like this guy. So if you can get a hold of this guy, he's a lot of fun. Now for Soundwave. Now, as you can see, we already removed the giant missile, which the missile can pose and come into a firing position like that, which is nice. This radar dish is completely superfluous, as it just kind of pegs in on either side. So transformation is pretty darn easy. We're first going to lift this up just to get it out of the way, and then spin the legs, or spin the front of the figure around. Then fold up these panels underneath the rope, or underneath the vehicle mode, and flip out and fold down the legs. And then close those panels in the back. Then come up to the back here and fold, take these sections here and fold them down like that, and flip them out. They are very tight on my figure. That will allow you to fold the entire rear tread sections down like that. then allowing you to take the entire section that the missile attaches to, fold that all the way back, and flip up the very yellow head. And now that we have done that, all we have to do is attach the missile, which conveniently plugs right into his shoulder. And then you can take the radar dish, and he's supposed to be able to hold it, but you really can't hold it with these super, super tiny fists. So you have to plug it into the screw hole, which doesn't work at all, unfortunately. So the only other thing you could do is plug it into his other shoulder. So here we have Soundwave and Spacecase. Now, first off, I have to admit, the Soundwave figure is pretty cool. I do like him, but you have to be aware that it's very, very G1-esque, and it has no posability whatsoever. Head doesn't move, the arms barely move, the legs don't move. Kind of a brick, really. But it's not bad. In fact, I kind of dig the colors. It really reminds me of shattered glass type colors. And the figure does have some nice light piping on it. I don't know how well that's coming up on camera, but it does have light piping and it works, so it's pretty darn cool. But I have to say, I really do love the Spacecase figure. It's a fun little figure, and it just is really, really cool looking. This set as a duo really works for me. I don't know why, I just really like this set as a duo. And Soundwave's coloring is just completely trippy. I mean, burgundy, purple, gray, and sallow yellow. I mean, who the heck thought that up? They deserve a stiff drink. So overall, this is a fun set. It's nice to have been able to get molds that I never was able to pick up when I was younger, and it's just a fun little set, and it really scratches the G1 and G2 itch both at the same time. So, you know what, if you can, I would find this set and pick it up, or at least get a hold of this mold. I believe this mold was redone a couple of times, and the Spacecase mold has been done a bunch of different times. So, yeah, I would definitely search these out if you can find them. If you find them on eBay, or you find them in a garage sale for pretty cheap, I think they're worth a look.